poppin', Sydd squad? It's Sydd, and I'm back with another video. As you can see from the title, I am back with 15 things you should know before you go to AUC. This video is long overdue. I've been back from Egypt for 3 months now. I miss Egypt so very much. Like I tell everyone, it was the best decision I could have ever made. To go to Egypt meant that I was able to develop a sense of cultural awareness. It proved to me that I had the courage and the discipline to go out there and the strength that I needed. It taught me how to adapt to new ideas and new ways of life, because not only was education different, the day-to-day living was different. And Egypt was just a super eye-opening experience. Even though it's been 3 months since I've left, I think this video is super necessary. Before we get into the video, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Be sure to turn on your post notifications so that you're notified when I post. Be sure to join the Sydd squad, because if you're not a part of the Sydd squad, you're not part of the best squad, and that's on period, okay? So we're just gonna get straight into the Alright you guys, so one thing you should know about me is that Sydney has horrible memory. So I spent the time while I was in Egypt writing down all the things that I thought you guys should know, because I'm always thinking about you guys. So I have a note in my phone right here, and these are the things I think you need to know for Egypt and AUC. The first thing I think you should know before traveling to AUC, if you are traveling from the States, is that getting visas are super duper easy to get from the airport. Before traveling there, I wasn't sure if I should get a 90-day visa before traveling there or get a 30-day visa before traveling there. Either way, but they sell them at the airport. The station is open 24 hours and it's only $25 for a visa right there at the airport. Once you do get your visa at the airport, the BSO office at AUC, which is the business support office, they will help you extending your visa and getting your residency card, so don't worry. Second thing that I think you should know, when you get to Egypt, it is super easy to get a phone line. I recommend canceling your phone in the States when you travel to Egypt. When I traveled, I disconnected my phone the first month I got there. I put it on a hold for 3 months, and the last month my phone turned back on. But getting a phone plan out in Egypt is super duper easy, and it's very cheap. Way cheaper than if you were to pay a phone bill in the States. I paid around 250 Egyptian pounds a month for my phone bill, which is about $10 to $15 in the States. So when I tell you getting a phone service is cheap out there, I highly recommend. I had Vodafone and it works everywhere. It's the best service. No matter where you go in Egypt, you're gonna have service. I was in the desert, I had service. I was everywhere and I had service. And I know so many people who had service everywhere with Vodafone, and that was not the case with Orange. So I highly recommend Vodafone. With that being said, and me advising you guys to get your phone service in Egypt, do not get a new phone within 90 days of arriving in Egypt. Your phone will most likely be locked. Next thing that I think you should know when traveling to Egypt and going to AUC is there are 2 services that you need to utilize frequently if you want things convenient. You know what I'm saying? Use InstaShop for your groceries and Talabat for ordering food. InstaShop is just like Instacart, and Talabat is just like DoorDash or Uber Eats. I will say that some of these services do have service charges and service processing fees, but other than that, A1. They deliver it straight to your apartment or straight to the dorms, wherever you need them to. And I highly recommend these services. I'm telling you, the laziness in me, the American in me, was using these services very frequently. So those are the 2 that you definitely need. I think we're on number 4 now. Next thing that you should know before traveling and going to AUC is that you need to bring your own clothes. Do not buy a new wardrobe. I know that you guys see in my Egyptian playlist, one of my first videos was buying a new wardrobe for Egypt. Horrible idea. I spent around $200 to $300 on new clothes for Egypt, things that I felt were modest and not revealing. I would say just bring your own clothes. On top of me buying a couple of pieces for a new wardrobe, I bought some sweatpants and I bought some leggings, things that I thought would be, you know, just relaxing clothes and nothing, you know, too fancy. I also bought some huaraches just to go to Egypt. Let me tell you guys the tea. AUC has some of the richest people that attend that school, okay? The first day I walked into school, there was Chanel bags, there was Gucci sneakers, there was all this stuff, and I was like, ah! I had a different impression before going there, so I was not ready. And let's just say I look like a bum almost every single day. What I will say is bring your own wardrobe, because AUC is located in New Cairo, which is very modernized, westernized, all of that, and you will be okay. I will say bring a couple of pieces of clothing that you can cover yourself with, or that are not as revealing for when you travel to other areas like downtown Cairo, or when you travel to Aswan and Luxor, or some of these other places that may not be accepting of such revealing clothing. Either way, I say bring 5 pieces of clothing at max that are suitable for you and that cover you up to travel to other places, but do not buy a whole new wardrobe. Bring your own clothes. Next thing I think you guys should know, which this may be a little like I'm doing too much, but like I think you guys should know this. When I first got into my apartment, we had a very bad ant problem. Like, it was so bad. I bought ramen noodles from the States with me, you guys, and ants literally crawled in 5 out of my 12 packs of ramen noodles, and so I had to throw them away, and my little American heart was so broken. Like, I was devastated. I tried to go to 3 grocery stores to get ant bait, and they just did not sell that. They had every type of everything else but ant bait. So I highly recommend ant bait. I mean, after a couple weeks of me seriously cleaning with Dettol and Windex and all these other things, like spraying every surface, I was able to, you know, keep the ants away. I also had to keep all of my food in the fridge. Even my ramen noodles and everything that was in packets, I kept it in the fridge because I could not afford for my stuff to be eaten by ants. Like, come on. So yes, I highly recommend ant bait if you don't want your stuff eaten. With that being said, bring your own snacks. If you do want your own snacks from wherever you're from, American places, bring them yourself. I remember after 2 months, I wanted Sour Patch Kids so bad, and there was a store on campus that I decided to go to and get them. You guys, when I went to the store to go get these Sour Patch Kids, tell me why. 1 little mini bag of Sour Patch Kids cost me 10 American dollars, and I did not realize until after I opened it and started already eating it, so I had to pay for it. But it was so bad, and because some of our American snacks are imported, they're really expensive. So I highly recommend bringing anything you want, any snacks, all of that that will last you. Bring it with you. Bring your own snacks, but also be willing to try some of the new snacks because some of their snacks are really good. Next, this one is super duper important. If you would like to receive money while you're out in Egypt, make sure to only use Zelle. I cannot vouch for any other service but Zelle, but I do know that if you get Zelle some money, you will receive it. Do not, and I mean do not, try to receive Cash App. Cash App is blocked in Egypt and you will not receive it. The next thing, Disney Plus is not supported in Egypt. Netflix is supported in Egypt, but Disney Plus is not supported in Egypt. With that being said, my next tip is you should download a VPN. I'm not sure about downloading a VPN when you get there, but I do know that a lot of my friends that were international students, they downloaded a VPN before they got into Egypt, and they were allowed to use some of the services that I said were not supported. Let me tell you guys something. Egypt is very cheap, okay? The conversion rate is going up by the second, and I really feel for the country because it is detrimental to those that are native to the country, because while the dollar conversion rate is going up, the pay and the cost of living there is also, the pay is not going up, but the cost of living is going up, and it's very detrimental to them. However, for American people, if you do go to Egypt, it is amazing. When I originally got there, the conversion was about $1 to 23 Egyptian pounds. When I left, the conversion was $1 to 26 Egyptian pounds. I just looked it up right now, you guys. It is $1 to 30.72 Egyptian pounds. When you go there, you will find yourself being able to stretch $1,000 for like 3 months on just food and things of that. So it was really good. Okay, good. The next one is very, very touchy and sensitive to me because, you guys, let me tell you the dramatics of it all. This tip right here is do not, and I mean do not, try to receive any packages from the States. Do not order anything. If your parent loves you so much, just the way my parents love me, and they try to send you care packages or send you birthday gifts or try to send you anything, tell them do not waste their time, do not waste their money, and do not do it, okay? So my parents went and decided to send me a care package. To mail the package alone, you guys, cost $150. $150. The package gets to Egypt, and in order to receive the package, they messaged me, FedEx messaged me through WhatsApp. I had to send them my passport so that they can verify, which to me was very sketchy. But you got to realize, in a lot of these other countries, the main form of communication is via WhatsApp, even through business accounts. So that's the way that we communicated. So I sent them my passport, and they told me after that I would have to wait 7 to 10 business days for them to get back to me about a day that they would be delivering my package. Me sending my passport was just for it to clear customs. After it cleared customs, you guys, they told me that in order to receive the package, I would have to pay 3,872 Egyptian pounds just to get the package from them, because there was all these fees for them keeping my package at the customs. And I'm sitting here like, you didn't have to hold my package, but because they had to hold my package and all this extra stuff and all, there were so many fees. 3,872 Egyptian pounds. If you don't know what that means that they were trying to charge me $180 at the time just to receive my package. I was not feeling it. I was very upset. So at that point, I was just like, I'm not getting the package. Trying to receive mail, don't do it. You'll be very, very, very disappointed. Next tip, I highly recommend bringing your own little drugstore. I highly recommend bringing your own vitamins. I highly recommend bringing your own hair products. I highly recommend bringing your own medicines. I did get a little stomach bug while I was there. I had to go to medical services on campus. They gave me some medicine. I thought I had food poisoning because I went to a restaurant and then my stomach was horrible for like 2 days. They told me I had gastroenteritis and that I was just having really bad gas, and it was horrible. My professor was a doctor and she told me I had traveler's diarrhea, TMI, but like it was so much going on, and I felt like I didn't know any of the medicine that they were giving me. When they were trying to give me medicine, they would give you one tablet and be like, okay, take this tonight, and that would be it. But the issue was going on for days at a time and they didn't supply you that medicine. And so I highly recommend bringing anything that you think you may need. At the time, I was asking one of my friends who's a pharmacist there, I asked her, does she have Benadryl, or does she know where I can get Benadryl from? But for her, that's not what it's called out there. They don't know what Benadryl is. So you have to know the main ingredient in the drug, which is diphenhydramine. I'm probably saying that wrong. She was not able to help me find Benadryl, but when I did tell her the main ingredient for the drug, she was able to give me things that were similar. But for me, I was more comfortable with knowing that I was taking something I was familiar with and not something I didn't know at all. I did bring a lot of my own things. I brought medicine for flu just in case I would have got cold. I brought vitamins. I did bring my own hair care products. So I highly recommend just bringing your own stuff, because it will be very hard to find similar brands that you know, recognize, and trust, or even understand boxes, because a lot of the things are in Arabic. So to save yourself the hassle, again, just bring your own personal drugstore. Now, I know a lot of the things I have been telling you are just things to be able to survive in Egypt, which I think you should know when going to AUC. The first thing is that while I do love AUC and I appreciate AUC for the experience and for hosting me for my study abroad experience, I must say that the school is very, 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 very unorganized. And once you accept that, life will be great. There's something called Black people time, but there's also something called Egyptian people time, okay? And if they tell you we're leaving the school at 8 a.m., they're lying. We're not leaving that school till 10 a.m., okay? Everything is delayed. Everything is behind. It's crazy. When it comes to classes, a lot of the students, they let's not even get into that. But they will ask for extensions on every single assignment. They will text the group chat without the professor in it and be like, everybody email the professor and let's ask for an extension. And they'll literally get an extension for everything, bro. I'm sitting here like, no way. A lot of the professors, they were very unorganized. I had to remind professors sometimes to post lecture slides. But they were very helpful. Once they did do it, they were very helpful. But a lot of the offices were unorganized. A lot of the professors were unorganized. The international office, although they were very helpful, like I did say, they were unorganized. I know a lot of people who before they went had trouble registering for their classes. They were first semester seniors and they got there and realized they weren't even going to be taking the classes that they needed to graduate, would put them in jeopardy for graduating when they return back to their home school. Thankfully for me, I was able to register for my classes. But make sure that you are in constant communication with the international office so that you can handle your business before you get there. And stay on top of them. If you have to email 5 times a day, do that. If you, once you get on campus, have to go into their offices and make them know your face and know your name, make sure you do that. Because trust and believe, those people in those offices, they knew who I was. Because I was not playing them games, okay? Stay on top of them. Next thing I will say is know what you're expecting out of your study abroad experience. For me personally, I wanted to study abroad just so that I can get a sense of cultural awareness. I can be exposed to a different culture, different education system, so that I can continue my education and travel the world, and so that I could just go out there and be able to seclude myself to grow as a person and encourage personal development within myself. With that being said, this was not the goal of some of my fellow international friends. A lot of people I know who traveled to Egypt, they went out there and they were traveling so much, you guys. When I tell you so much, they were on all these trips. They were always hassling me about going out, having fun, making memories. And while I did do that, for me personally, I went out there knowing that I was still going to be as deep in my books out there as I was. A lot of international students, they would skip classes to go on trips. A lot of their classes would transfer back to their home institution as pass or fail. But my institution personally transfers back their credits on the letter grade system. So it was important for me that I was doing my best in getting these A's and B's that I normally get, so that my study abroad experience did not impact me in a negative way. I will say, remember the reason why you went out there and don't allow others to influence your decisions. If you're fulfilled by just being out there and studying and literally just being in a new environment and being granted the opportunity to just travel to Egypt like I was without having to party and travel, then go out there and stand your ground and understand that that's all you need. If you're one of those people who want to go to Egypt and party and live the nightlife and do that, because that is there for you as well. Like I said, just know the reason why you went to Egypt and be able to help yourself fulfill that and make yourself happy while you're doing it. The next thing I want to share with you guys are traveling tips. There are 2 places that I did travel to while I was out in Egypt, and that was to Fayoum and to Alexandria, and those trips were super, super, super amazing. I did not get to record my Alexandria trip, but I did record my Fayoum trip, and I do have a vlog for that, so be sure to go check that out. But I am going to link below the tour guides that I used for my Fayoum trip and my Alexandria trip, and you can contact them both on WhatsApp. They were super great, super informative, and the price was amazing. And so I highly recommend those travel groups for any of your Egyptian travel needs. My last tip would be to follow your heart, step out of your comfort zone, and if you're doubting anything about studying abroad, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at SydneyKayla, SYDNEYKAELA. I am more than willing to answer any of you guys' questions and share with you guys any resources that I may have. This was one of the best experiences I could have ever had in my life. I already have a love for traveling, and I was able to continue my education and do what I love most, which is to travel. I am so grateful for everyone I met. I am so grateful for everything that I learned while I was there, and I highly recommend it to everyone. It will be tough sometimes, but it will be very rewarding, and all of the positive aspects of traveling and doing study abroad are way greater than any of the negatives. So I highly recommend it. that is the end of the video. I hope you guys like this. Comment down below any questions you may have, and that is a wrap for my Egyptian playlist. I have given you guys all the content that I have. I wish I could have recorded more content, but I got busy and my camera broke, but that's okay. I had so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video so very much. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Be sure to turn on your post notifications so that you're notified when I post, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, Sis Squad.